not DMX. So run DMC. DMC was the original DMX. That's true.
Yeah.
Great influence on him. Rah, rah. Son. Oh Lord, I'm gonna get Ant Young started early this morning if he's listening. That was the favorite go-to line on the old show. Son.
Son.
Yeah, we use DMX for everything.
Oh, did you really?
Oh my God, man. Yeah, because there's a preacher in Philly who preaches like DMX. I mean, yeah, preaches like DMX.
You'll have to tell me about that offline. I would love to hear that.
I'll tell you now.
Who is it?
Reverend Geno Jennings.
Oh, Geno Jennings, yes, from the First Church.
Yeah, man, he cracked. I mean, he's got his thing. He's committed to it. And look, he don't care what you think about it, man. He's got that guy next to him.
Yes.
And it does kind of put you in that mindset. Son, read that again, son. Acts 2.
Read.
Chapter. Read, brother. Stop. Stop. Just read that last word one more. Stop. Half the word. Stop. The first letter. Stop. It is something else. But he's a good guy. Hey, listen, it's the Power Hour. Just having a good time. This is the holiday week. And so we're going to try to enjoy ourselves today in spite of all the news. And sitting across from me to do that is Bishop Dwayne David Royster.
And sitting across from me is the Reverend Dr. Mark Kelly Tyler.
And holding it all together is Miss Kawesa.
Good morning.
Hi, how's the computer doing this morning?
It's fixed. Yay. I'm excited.
Are you in a better place?
A much better place. I can breathe this morning. I'm like, ooh, okay.
Your happy place. I hear that.
Yep.
So I even see Facebook Live is up and running. And so hit the share button. I'm going to do the same thing right now. Share this out with your friends and your family. Let's get that interesting Facebook conversation going. Hey, what's trending on your timeline this morning on social media, Royster?
Trending on my timeline? Well, because my stuff is mostly political. It's mostly about the Senate and the House finally passing the stimulus bill yesterday. So that is the big thing that's trending on my timeline. I'm a little disappointed because I don't have one of the superpower things like everybody was talking about, the black superpower things. I got none of that on my timeline. I don't know what that means about me, but I was trying to figure out what was happening with that yesterday. My eldest daughter, Chardonnay, was trying to explain it to me, and I was really lost. So,
well, yeah, I got a lesson on it last night, and
please share.
So Leslie read to me the article while I was driving back, the article by the Root.
Okay.
And so it's actually basically it ties into the whole Jupiter and Saturn, the Christmas star.
Mm-hmm.
Coming into alignment for the first time pretty much almost since slavery started in America.
Oh, wow.
It's been like 400 and something years.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So folk are going to always make a big deal about anything astronomical that's out there that is like just different.
Right.
So there's been a lot of hype about the Christmas star. And so apparently we black people are receiving new superpowers as a result of this Christmas star.
Oh, we got superpowers.
I have mine.
Okay, what's yours?
I received mine.
You did?
Yep. And it's working great.
What is that?
Invisibility.
Invisibility.
Yeah. I walked into the store and I was there standing in line and nobody asked me anything. White person walked in behind me and the person looked right past me at the white person and said, "May I help you?" I was like, this is amazing. I'm going to try it in another store. Went to another store, did it again. Sure enough, they looked, "May I help you?" I was like, my superpower is working.
Oh, wow.
I have invisibility.
Oh,
it's awesome. Yeah, it doesn't work with bill collectors. They can still see me. But in retail, it absolutely works. It's astounding. You should try it sometime. A lot of you all have invisibility. It's a great superpower.
See, I don't think I have invisibility because when I go into the stores, I attract a lot of attention, and most of the time, security seems to feel compelled to follow me around as if I need help. So,
Well, that's true too. I should say that the invisibility only works at the cash register or when you need service.
the other time, I seem to attract a whole lot of attention. I just maybe my superpower is attraction because I just get people following me around the store wherever I go.
It is, yeah, man. Like, so on my timeline, again, a lot of folk are out there talking about their superpowers. And yeah, so what's up? Good morning to all the folk on Facebook Live. Again, hit the share button. Craig has his superpowers. What's up? Raphael and Gail, Asa Khalif. Glad to see you all this morning, as well as Franny and Virginia. Ed says that we have the fastest hour in radio.
That
we
is
need to like
hour. Okay.
Yeah. And Sheriff Bilal is on. Glad to see that the sheriffs are going to be tested as well as persons who are currently incarcerated. They're going to test everybody. It's only about 10 months late, right?
Wow.
And I know that she's happy about this, but man, the bureaucratic piece behind this and just the bureaucracy, I'm sure that's a whole story. We won't put her on the spot, but I'm sure if she could, like if these meetings could talk.
Yes.
Yeah, Asa says, unfortunately, invisibility doesn't work with the cops.
Yeah, that's what I said. Asa, we have the superpower of attraction. Basically, wherever we go, we get attention from folk that we don't want attention from. So that's our superpower, is attraction.
Yeah. What's up, Kathleen from West Germantown in the house? So listen, man, this is the last week. Well, we're already into Christmas week. Christmas is going to be celebrated Friday. A lot of folk are going to be staying at home looking for things to do. Good morning to you, Rosalind, as well. Happy Kwanzaa to you as well, Bargani. And we'll be celebrating Kwanzaa as well in much smaller fashion this time. Folk won't be getting together with others. But if you're looking for something to do, you can check out Handel's Messiah. I actually was given an old file from one of our members who recorded it off of his he has a real high quality camera. He's a photographer. Mm-hmm. But man, it's like we were able to stitch together Handel's Messiah from 2013. So we're going to show it live on Mother Bethel's Facebook page Christmas Eve at 7 p.m.
Oh,
just
great.
go to Facebook and look for Mother Bethel. I miss singing. I miss not singing because I don't sing. But I miss.
Say, did you sing? That's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know if you were saying, which solo did you have? That's what I wanted to know.
Comfort ye. Yeah, right. But I love the singing that Handel's Messiah. I know a lot of people do. So again, if you want to check it out, if you remember, a lot of folk will remember Barry Currington, who was our former minister of music who passed away last year. Barry, this is his last time performing it at Mother Bethel before he left. So it's a great thing, and it's free. Again, 7 o'clock on our Facebook Live page, Mother Bethel. Check it out. You guys doing anything special over the holidays at your congregation or in the UCC?
So we are going to, a lot of churches do Christmas Eve service. We don't actually do that. So we will have watch night service. I'm doing a modified watch night service virtually because we always want to remember, our Jewish siblings have the Passover, and I think for African Americans, we have watch night. And so it is an important night as we remember the transition from slavery to what we perceive to be freedom. And just remembering folk gathering in the brush arbors and churches and in their spaces to pray as they began a new journey as supposed free citizens in this country. So we do that every
I love watching night service. I don't know, we're doing it too, and so it's going to be this will be a challenge for us because we're going to do ours through Zoom, so it'll be like an in-house thing, just the members.
That's how we do it. So
yeah, but I mean, I do all of our services pre-recorded pretty much on Facebook Live, and so this is going to be interesting. I got a feeling it's going to be a whole lot of. Can you please hit mute? If you're not talking, if you're not on the program, we've finished the testimonies. Can you please hit mute now?
I love Faith Church dearly, but after almost a year of doing it on Zoom and we do Zoom and then broadcast to Facebook, we still have that problem.
Please hit *6 or we'll have to mute everybody. All right, hey, check this. I know there's a lot of really heavy hit news, but I don't know. I'm just in this Christmas mood this week. But
that's all right. It's good.
So let me just tell you, one of the things trending on my timeline with a lot of my friends are posting, because a lot of them are sports fans, and they're posting this thing called instant karma.
Mm.
So Juju Smith-Schuster plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now I know sports ain't your thing, but of course you know the Steelers. Our Steeler Nation is the biggest. They have the biggest following of all teams, and I don't even want to. I'm a Raider fan. We have a big following.
Actually, I did. I thought the Raiders did.
No, God, no, man. It's not, I mean, the Steelers make every game a home game.
Mm-hmm.
It's embarrassing. I mean, seriously, unless your team, they fly to California. I mean, they rise up every game they play is literally like a Steeler home game.
Uh-huh.
So, but they're on a 3-game losing streak. They were 11-0. Headed charging into the playoffs. Now they've lost 3, including last night to the hapless Cincinnati Bengals, who had only won 2 games up to that point. And the Bengals had a 3rd-string quarterback and beat the Steelers. And all the Steelers had to do was win last night, and they lock up their division, and it's all good. That's not the point. The point is there's a player who's a wide receiver, Juju Smith-Schuster, who has a pregame routine basically disrespecting the opposing team. He does a TikTok.
Okay.
Now, what are your feelings about TikTok?
So, my daughter got me on TikTok. I'm not really a fan. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, I don't understand it. So it's not.
Is she always trying to get you to do a TikTok?
No, she gets her mother to do TikToks. Well, she's got me to do one. And I did it by accident. She's like, Dad, do this dance with me. And just help me do this dance. And then next thing I know, I'm on TikTok. So, I've not done that since then.
See, that's my daughters. It's like every time I look around, it's like, no, stop. I'm not going to ever do a TikTok, okay? Unless you catch me with one like falling asleep on the couch after church on Sunday, and you can somehow use that footage, there will be no TikTok of me. But so Juju Smith-Schuster, his pregame ritual is to do a TikTok. Mm-hmm. Where he dances on the logo of the opposing team, like midfield. Mm-hmm. And he's like spiking the ball, and then he posts it, and he's a viral sensation.
Okay.
So, of course, he did that last night. The Bengals and the Steelers hate each other's guts like the Cowboys and the Eagles. Right. It is a bitter division rivalry, not to mention the fact that, the Bengals, their season is over. The Steelers are on their way to the playoffs and all that. So he does this thing. Midway through the first quarter, he catches a ball on that logo. And, man, he gets hit so hard, bro. If you do a Google search for decleating, it's going to be a picture of him.
Decleating?
Like, took him out his cleats. Oh, wow. Good God. Right on the logo, and he fumbled. And that really helped. I mean, that, among other mistakes, was critical. They ultimately lost the game. The Steelers did. And people are saying that's instant karma, that's what you get. I mean, you got to have humility in life, bro. You can't, just roll up on the opposing team, disrespecting their logo at every game and think that's not going to come back on you.
Wow.
So people now have, done split screens with him doing the dance on the logo and him getting almost knocked out on the logo. He went almost Nate Robinson. Night.
Wow. That is that's bad. That's bad. You get hit that hard?
Bro, I'm telling you, it's as bad as what happened to Trump in the election. Speaking of which, as a segue.
Here we go.
Bill Barr on his way out.
Bill Barr is God nuts.
Well, now Bill Barr's acting like the guy we always thought he was, right?
Yeah, he's acting like the Attorney General.
So Bill Barr finally shows up. The guy when he was brought in, that everybody, Democrats universally and everyone else said, hey, this is a guy who's going to call it straight. Balls and strikes. He's not going to get caught in Trump's world. And then he comes in and blows up the whole investigation around impeachment, basically poisons the well, and just, completely is a tool of Trump like everyone else.
That's right.
But now has somehow regained his moral center as he's letting people know his second to last day in office that, no, nothing to look for here. No need to declare martial law. There was no fraud. Can you please explain Bill Barr's 180 to me? His
I can't.
first is 180, and then his next 180. So he's done a 360 in stages.
Well, let me just say that. So there were people that were suspect of him when he was originally going through his confirmation hearings, right? There were folk that were very suspect about whether he was going to be a Trump flunky. And shortly after getting into the AG seat, he became a Trump flunky. I think, he's now beginning to do some separation. There's a couple of things that Trump did not know about that, Trump found out about that he's upset about now. One was that they did do an investigation into Hunter Biden, and Trump's upset that nobody told him because he wanted to use this for political ammo during the election cycle. And Barr would never told him what was going on with that. The second thing that's now happening is that he's basically come out and said Sidney Powell does not need to be a special prosecutor there. He said, I'm sure that there was fraud in the voting system, but there's not wide-scale fraud that we have been able to see, and nobody's been able to bring proof that there has been. I mean, does it mean that somebody might have, voted for somebody, yes, people do that stuff all the time, but it's not wide-scale, planned out, strategic fraud that's committed in voting that people are doing. So he said that there's probably some fraud, but he said it's not, not anything that outside of the ordinary. It's not like Chicago where the theme used to be, vote early, vote often. So,
Right.
that
was Chicago.
That was Chicago.
Hashtag John Kennedy. Right.
Vote early, vote often. So it wasn't anything of that sort. And, he's just basically said, look, the election is what the election is. I think he's come out a couple of times against Trump. I think he might be looking for his next job. And he needs a job to go to.
But I just,
he's like,
so
I got to distance myself from this guy.
Yeah, but I just don't.
I mean, he requires a loyalty. And Barr, I think, eventually saw Trump for who he was. It's just like sort of you get in a relationship with somebody, and everybody tries to tell you who they are ahead of time.
Sure.
And you don't listen to a thing that they say because in your mind, you can change them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into the relationship and you realize at some point, wow, they were 100% right. I'm way in over my head. I need to get out of this, and I just need to figure out the best way to do that.
Oh, man. Look, we got to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll continue this conversation. We'll also talk a little bit about some of the other news that's out there. And since, again, this is like the holiday week, maybe we'll talk a little bit about Christmas gift ideas. And we have never really talked about verses on this show.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
But I want to know who you want to see doing verses. They had Too Short and E40 last week in the Bay Area. The Bay Area is going crazy. But I want to see I want to see the Sounds of Philadelphia against Motown. That would be crazy.
Oh, okay.
CSOP versus Motown, period.
Uh-huh.
Bring your people.
Uh-huh.
All right, but yeah, that would work. That's a versus for you. But look, we'll be right back on the other side of the break. This is the Power Hour brought to you by powerinterfaith.org.
This health and humanitarian crisis has shaken us all, as neighbors and as a nation. At Bank of America, we came together as a company and as a community with an unwavering commitment to advance racial equality and economic opportunity. We're thankful for the tireless efforts of our employees, partners, healthcare, and essential workers in the communities we serve. And we remain fully committed to the work ahead in 2021. Bank of America N.A., member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Listen to Laborers Live.
We created the weekend. We created the 40-hour work week. We just want enough to feed our family, be able to send our children to college, and let our next generation do better than we did.
To people that might have forgot how important unionism is in a country like the United States. People now infringing on our 8-hour workday, trying to work people more than 8 hours without overtime, trying to work people without benefits. In the long run, everybody's getting fat paycheck except the worker. So this is really a wake-up call for America.
The struggle is continuous. Tune in to Laborers Live every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. Sponsored by LESIT, the Laborers Employers Cooperation Education Trust of the Laborers District Council of Philadelphia and vicinity.
Local 332, Sam Staten Jr. Business Manager. Local 57, Esteban Vera Business Manager. Local 135, Dan Woodall Jr. Business Manager. Local 413, James Harper Jr. Business Manager. The Laborers District Council, Ryan Boyer Business Manager, and Tony Staten, Executive Director of LESIT.
This is not a fad for us. We will not resume our regular programming when things die down. We're not black to help our bottom line or because it's politically correct. We're not joining a fight. This has been our fight, our message, our people. Black lives have always mattered here. We are undeniably, indefatigably, unapologetically, permanently Black Talk Media. WURD. You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent Black media.
Welcome back to the Power Hour with Mark Kelly Tyler, Dwayne David Royster. We are here Monday through Fridays from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. to give you the latest in news, happenings around Philadelphia, and, of course, our opinions. Now, WURD listeners, you want to buy black for the holidays? We got you covered. WURD Radio is proud to present our virtual holiday marketplace online. Support local, small, black-owned businesses through the marketplace and purchase your holiday gifts today. Go to wordradio.com/marketplace or wordworks.com/marketplace. Go ahead and get those gifts. You only got a couple days left, well, for Christmas, and then Kwanzaa begins. And so we want to make sure that you have all of the gifts that you need to take care of those that you love and care about and support your community at the exact same time. So
get those gifts. Get them. Man, I tell you, talking about the gift that keeps giving.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do without Donald Trump in about a month?
Actually, Donald Trump is not going anywhere.
All right, well, that might be true. But I'm just saying for the last 4 years, he's actually made like programming a show very easy because there have been some mornings, I will tell you, where I woke up and it's like, oh, man, I got nothing. Let me just find Donald Trump's latest tweet. There's a show. There's a show.
Well, actually, I mean, it's actually kind of funny because I'm really curious to see what the late night hosts have to do because Joe Biden is nowhere near as animated or as fun as Donald Trump is.
No, he's responsible. That's why. It's like, it's kind of
like, Trump is not going to go anywhere. He is going to, he's actually going to be a real irritant. Actually, I don't envy Joe Biden in this particular circumstance because following Donald Trump, really Donald Trump is still going to try to be president, even though he is not president. He knows he has a base of followers, and he's going to use that base as much as possible to rain down hell on Joe Biden during the next 4 years. And I think that's wow. Really unfortunate.
Well, so we were talking about before the break about Bill Barr and kind of like what has caused this turnaround. According to Gail on social media, Barr is trying to get his ticket to the pearly gates punched. Sorry, he has much work to do. Craig, I think, also, that was Craig. Craig says, tying in a couple of takes, tying in our DMX on there. He said, nah, son. Nah, son. I ain't feeling Barr at all. Don't care how he's talking now. He will always get the side eye from me.
I hear you.
That's what, look, I just don't understand. I'm like, dude, you have already trashed any reputation that you've ever had. You've already put Trump over country first and over the Constitution of the United States. And at the very end, it's like, so you help create Frankenstein the monster. Now after he's like burning the entire village down, you come out like, maybe I was wrong.
I would push.
What the hell?
There's still 73 million people out there, business owners, corporate executives, people like that voted for Donald Trump, right? There's a whole people out there that like Donald Trump, and they could like a Bill Barr right now. Bill Barr could find himself being a bridge between, a new administration and the Trump administration. I think there's all kinds of roles that he could yet play. I mean, this is how we feel, and I totally get it. But I think that there are a lot of other folk out there that would feel very differently and would see Bill Barr as an asset also because he has been the Attorney General. He knows what's going on inside the deep machinations of government.
Royster, when you are dealing with a cult leader, anybody, so I don't care, let me tell you, who's been more loyal to him than his daughter Ivanka?
Mm-hmm.
And if Ivanka came out today and said, my dad is wrong, move on, the election is over, Joe Biden is the president, the same masses would be calling for her to be thrown off the island.
Absolutely.
Because they are only wed to him.
That's right.
And so I don't see, that's what I'm saying. I mean, Barr, it's not like the 73 million people you're talking about are going to ever listen to him now. It's like now he's corrupted. The Democrats have gotten a hold of him. You know, man, it confounds me.
Folk in the middle that will listen to him. There are people.
What folk in the middle? What middle of what?
He could be a great lobbyist. He could be a special prosecutor. There's all kinds of roles out there for Bill Barr.
Who is in the middle anymore in this country? Who are you talking about?
There is a middle. There is a middle. The independents. There is a middle. There absolutely is a middle.
That used to be 4 years ago.
I'm telling you, man, there's a middle. There's a middle.
In the words of George W. Bush, if you ain't for us, you against us.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Thanks, Arun.
Yeah. Can we just talk about one thing I just need to do here? So a couple of people have asked about this on the Facebook feed. So yes, the $600 checks will be coming out, and actually, Secretary of the Treasury Steve Mnuchin said that some of the checks could be hitting as early as next week. That's not everybody, but the first round of these $600 stimulus checks, which is really painfully low, could hit as early as the week of the 27th, he said. So some people will see some of these checks hitting their bank accounts next week. If you already have a bank account on file with the IRS, they will send you your $600 check directly so that you will get these checks this year. And of course, I'm sure if you're going to get a live check in the mail, it'll be signed by Donald J. Trump. So it's like he signed the last ones. Instead of the Secretary of Treasury signing the checks, it is the President of the United States signing the checks. So,
oh man, I know that was that was so gross when I saw that check.
Yeah,
because I hadn't set up for like direct deposit yet. So fortunately, the next one I won't have to see that disgusting signature on any money coming to me. I was like, I almost didn't want to cash it. Then I said, you must be crazy. Ching. I don't care what you put on it. You put Andrew Jackson's name on it. I don't care. But I was gonna. I mean, what are you gonna do with $600?
I mean, let me just say this, and so we have to qualify that. For us, it doesn't seem like a huge sum of money. For some people out there, actually is a huge sum of money, and we need to acknowledge that and honor that for those that can really use that $600. And not to say I can use $600, but it's not. When you think about rent in Philadelphia, when you think about the cost of living, the expenses that people have, $600 carries you a couple weeks. It's not at most. When we really need long-term sustainable income. Now, President-elect Biden said the other day that this would be a down payment, that this is just the first of what could come. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said the same thing. It's down payment. We'll be doing other things. They're also making this stimulus bill a part of the Georgia fight, as you're well aware. They're trying to say, look, you want more? We got to make sure we get the Democrats elected down in Georgia so that we have the ability to be able to move an agenda through both the House and the Senate that will actually include more stimulus, more money. There are folk out there that are suggesting that this could turn into a short-term universal basic income for people if the Democrats have both the House and the Senate and the White House to be able to make that a possibility. So, we want to be able to see some things happen. The other thing that did not happen in this bill is that there was no money set aside for states and cities and counties to be able to get resources. So they know they'll have to address that at the beginning of the year, primarily because there are counties and states and cities that are actually struggling financially very deeply right now and will need government support to be able to make it through. So.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I hear that, and I'm not trying to diminish, the fact that like $600 is not important to folk,
Mhm.
and it doesn't do something for a lot of people, but I'll still say that it is nothing, right? I mean, it's like again, we said this yesterday, when you have countries that paid people who are out of work a basic wage of like I can't remember the country. It was either Sweden or Switzerland. One of the
They were $2,000 a month. Yes.
Yeah, one of those Nordic countries
Yeah.
that paid $2,000 a month to people to just make sure everybody was good, and they kept their economy going, and their economy did not tank like ours did, but they valued their people, and so the $600 is really a slap in the face to the American people, and especially to the poor, because you're talking about people who are by and large millionaires in Congress who are saying to them, I mean, here I think I saw somebody on social, on our feed, mention the word crumbs. And yeah, Craig, so you take the crumbs and we're going to take the meal.
Yeah.
In fact, you get the crumbs from the dessert table, or actually you get the bread crumbs from the bread plate.
Yep.
And we're going to take this big buffet, this big lavish meal, and we're going to just march on and carry on as though nothing happened. I mean, it's beyond insulting. So essentially what you're saying is 10 months so far in pandemic, well, 9 months in pandemic, and people will have received a total of $1,800 each. And if you have children, because most of these families come from a demographic in America that has 2.5 children, right? So you're talking about white families. 2 children, you get $500 each. But that doesn't speak to all the other families in this country, many of whom have multiple children. And so somehow you're punished for having more than 2 children. So you're supposed to spread $1,000 out among, 5 or 6 children.
Yeah, I think so everybody this time will get $600, including children. So a family of 4 can get up to like $2,400. But
that's the cap. Yeah, that's the cap.
They also lowered the income range too. So the maximum to be able to get the $600, you have to make less than $75,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So if you make more than $75,000, you're not going to see that check. So just to let folks know.
But why? See, this is what I'm saying. So if that's the case, then why not simply say, all right, look, we're going to go for the hardest hit Americans.
Yes.
People who are out of work or who make $50,000 less, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for you, we're going to do $2,000, and everybody else handle your business. Because if you're at a certain income range, you're all right anyway. So there are a lot of people who didn't need the $1,200 check and don't need the $600 check. So why not simply acknowledge that? And, this idea that we're going to try to treat people who are unequal equally is crazy. You're not dealing with equals, at least not financially speaking. And so it seems to me that you will want to put more money into people who are suffering the most and less money for those who are able to take care of themselves.
Yeah, I don't agree with why they're doing it, but I understand why they're doing it, right? If you want to be able to counteract some of the people talking about my money going to those people, you got to give everybody a check, right? So Trump needs to make sure that he's taking care of all his people. Remember, he's going to run again in 2024, right? That's his plan. So he needs to make sure that everybody gets a check. Now, the most of the money in this stimulus plan is going to small and large businesses. That's where most of this money is going. It's going to be bailouts for small and large businesses. About $8.9 billion that are going, and this is $900 billion bill, $8.9 billion that are going to, deal with the vaccine. There's money set aside that's going to go to the direct payments, the $600 direct payments. There's about $300 billion of this money that's set aside for another round of the Paycheck Protection Plan. Now, why do we do this? Because we still believe in Reaganomics. We believe in the trickle-down theory. Instead of the everything floats, right? I totally agree with you. If you want to stimulate the economy, I say this over and over and over and over again. If you want to stimulate the economy, you give the money in the folk in the bottom 20% of the economic brackets, because they are 100% consumers. They will immediately spend that money, and it will begin to churn the economy. It will stimulate the economy. They will buy products. They will use those products. They will make it so that companies need to buy products from other companies so that they can make their products and sell them. It will actually churn the economy. When you give money to rich people, they don't spend it; they save it, and then that does not churn the economy. It does not churn the economy at all. So I totally agree. Let me just say, I am not defending the fact that it's only $600. Let me be very clear about this. I'm not defending that it's only $600. What I'm saying is that, and what I'm trying to point out is that, some of us on here, including those on the Facebook feed, are very middle class. And so because we are middle class, we look at the $600 one way. But if you're struggling to put food on the table, you look at that $600 in a very different way. And that's all that I'm trying to point out when I'm saying that, right? That it's one thing to say, from the position from somebody that's solidly middle class. It's something else for somebody that's struggling very deeply, that $600 could be a real lifeline in this moment. It's not enough. It is not enough. But I want to acknowledge and honor the fact that before we so easily dismiss that there are people out there for whom that can really mean the difference between life and something else at this particular moment in time. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I hear you. Kasahu says, I think we need to look at the fact that Trump wanted $1,200 and the Democrats blamed Trump for $600 when it was the Democrats that did that amount for the people. And this is a one-time amount for the people, ? But remember, we voted for the lesser of two evils, and we better get ready because here it comes, shaking my head. Well, I don't necessarily.
Not the Democrats, yeah.
No, exactly. The Democrats were forced into a compromise of $600. This was the Republicans. This was the GOP. The Democrats wanted $2,000. I would continue to remind us that they actually wanted. Yeah. If the Democrats and progressives had their way, there would have been a monthly stipend, which was floated very early on in the pandemic. That was shot down. They then tried to get $2,000 for people. That was shot down. The $1,200 was a compromise. If you remember, I'll take us all the way back to the first stimulus. Mitch McConnell did not want the poorest Americans to get a check. Mm-hmm. The first plan said if you made less than, I can't remember the amount right now, but it's like if you made less than, let's just say $5,000 a year, you get no check.
Yeah.
It was like, what? What kind of insane? It's like, let's see, who's the hungriest in here? Me, I haven't eaten in 5 days. Yes, you get no food.
Yeah.
Who just had lunch this morning?
They made it very difficult for folk that were very poor to get their check.
Oh, good God. I mean, remember, they didn't want the poorest of people to get anything. That's right. So let's not blame the Democrats. Now, Trump doesn't care. Like I said yesterday, he's spending money he'll spend money like a drunken sailor, and we have the debt to prove that he's giving away tax cuts and everything else. But again, they wanted $1,200 again this time, Democrats. That's what they pushed for. The Republicans said zero. The $600 is how government is supposed to work. It's a compromise. I don't like the number, but this is an actual good example of when compromise works, right? And the two people are on the other ends. They both come together. They both lose something. They both gain something. I just wish that the compromise would have been better and more meaningful to people. Yeah, $600 is a temporary lifeline, but it's like fool's gold. It's an oasis, and before you know it, you're going to be back out there in the desert, wandering, looking for another drink of waters to sustain you. So, look, we're a minute past our break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. And again, I want to know who you want to see in Versus. We'll read some of them at the end. Who do you want to see in Versus? Somebody said Brick City versus, I think, the Bay Area. Y'all don't want that smoke. We'll be right back.
With Internet Essentials from Comcast for only $9.95 a month, you get more. High-speed home internet service included. Peace of mind with XFi Advanced Security included. Access to millions of XFi Wi-Fi hotspots. That's included too. Internet Essentials from Comcast brings you affordable, high-speed internet to your home for only $9.95 a month. When you're connected, you're ready for anything. Visit InternetEssentials.com for more information. Taxes extra. Restrictions apply.
I'm Councilmember at Large Isaiah Thomas. As the holidays approach, we've all heard the news. A vaccine for COVID-19 is coming. However, now is not the time to let your guard down. As COVID-19 continues to spread, keep wearing your mask, practice social distancing, and please avoid large gatherings. It will take time before we all can get the vaccine. Until then, keep yourself safe, your family safe, and your community safe. We will get through this pandemic together. Stay safe, everybody, and please stop the spread.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by the Cheesecake Factory. Schuylkill Expressway westbound getting jammed up University through 30th. Left lane block there with ongoing construction. Eastbound side not bad yet. Westbound Vine Lake Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway. Southbound 95, you're going to find that getting heavy Cotman Avenue right down through Allegheny. Accident there has been clear, but still a bit of a busy ride there. Further south from the Blue Route down to 320. You're busy there again because of an accident. Northbound 95 moving fine. 55 northbound, building a bit north of Deptford into 42 now. Now through Christmas Day, for every $25 gift card purchase at thecheesefactory.com, you'll receive 2 free slices of cheesecake redeemable in the new year. Visit thecheesecakefactory.com for more details. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Now, a WURD weather update. Here's NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Crystal Cly.
Good morning. We have a few spotty light showers in the morning moving out, and that leaves us with clouds breaking up by the afternoon and some sunshine returning. 45 degrees is the forecast high temperature for a Tuesday afternoon. Now, tonight we're mostly clear and cold, down to 28 into your Wednesday morning. On Wednesday afternoon, getting up to 43 for a forecast high with increasing clouds, especially in the afternoon. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Crystal Cly with your most accurate forecast. Count on it.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. This is Dwayne Royster along with Mark Kelly Tyler, and holding it down on the boards is Quaitha Masters. So yesterday WURD had its holiday party, virtual holiday party, and we played a game. And Lisa, who is the head of our sales team here, had arranged this game. And I would just want to say I would have won the game had I understood how the technology worked. And so I really want a rematch on the game so that I can go back and win, because I did not understand how the tech worked last time. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. It was great being with all of our colleagues at WURD Radio yesterday. Many of the hosts were on, and staff and everybody, and it was great. Thank you to Sarah Lomax Reese for sponsoring that for all of us here at WURD Radio, and thank you all the listeners that continue to support our station.
I missed the party.
Yes, I was looking for you.
I got my invite late, but it's all right though.
Amadi was on. So like a lot of people don't know, I actually have 2 shows here. So I do this morning show, and then on Fridays from 5 to 7 we have Solutions, which is our weekly radio zine that we do. So Amadi was on, and actually Amadi came in second place in the game.
Really? See, I know what it is. Nobody wanted me at the party because it's like, you know how it is when like you don't want somebody at a party and you don't want them to know. So like right after the party started, you like, oh, you texted me like, hey man, did I send you the invite? Oh, you can't get here. It's too late. Oh, dude, my bad, dog.
Like that.
That's how WURD family did me yesterday. Iced me out of the party because they knew I'd win that competition. No, I'm just kidding. But the email got buried. So listen, April says she wants to see either Maxwell versus Lenny Kravitz or Sade versus Anita Baker. Can I just say, y'all are going to be so angry with me right now. I'm about to lose so many, I'm about to lose just a lot of people.
Okay.
I hate Sade's music.
I do too. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It all sounds the same. It sounds exactly the same.
Hey, Dwayne, is it a crime that I hate her music? I mean, is it a crime?
Woo! Oh my goodness, I do not like her music. Okay, thank you.
Her music is not the king. Or the queen. Gail said Maxwell and Kim. Now, oh man, that's tight. That is, that's some smoke right there. I'm telling you that, yeah.
If you were to do a post-human, if you got 2 legends that have passed on and you could bring them in, I think it would be great as if you could do Prince versus Michael Jackson.
Yeah, man. You know what? Oh man, that's hard. See, what I loved about Prince is that Prince never came back at you the same way. It was like he always came. Every album was like such a departure from the last. He was so super creative, but then, you know, Michael Jackson was just it's Michael Jackson. I mean, Neverland Ranch notwithstanding, he was Michael Jackson on stage. Problematic outside. Kim versus Smokey Robinson. Okay, Sheriff Bilal. All right.
Now, wait a minute.
Yes.
Quasa jumped in and she said Maxwell versus D'Angelo or Eric Benet.
All right. Know what her playlist looks like. See, I'm telling you, I would want to see, I'd like to see all the West Coast rappers versus the East Coast rappers in the golden days.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it depends on what you're in the mood for, but like this. Talking about NWA, the Lynch Mob, Too Short, the West Coast, Snoop, those rappers versus Public Enemy, the late 80s, late 80s, early 90s. So you have to put Tupac on the West, you put like Biggie on the other side. Woo, that's a matchup.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
So so I mean, folk are really, there's a lot of different ways that we could do this versus, but they got to work the tech out. People are just like, man, the tech is just horrible. Sheila Booker says Jesse Norman versus Kathleen Battle. Woo!
That would be hot.
That would be operatic. Yeah, that's major.
Yeah. I'm not sure we would actually be able to do that well on the internet, especially with all the tech trouble Versus has every time they do the show, because their voices, the range of their voices is so powerful, it'll be blowing their equipment.
Right. Wait, so Craig says, what? You don't like Sade? And to think you had become one of my favorite alphas. Dude, I have since the 80s just, after Your Love Is King or like Is It a Crime, it just all started sounding like bad elevator music to me. I'm sorry.
Well, to me, every song she sings sounds exactly the same. It sounds exactly the same. I'm like, it's crazy.
It's the whininess, man. It's the whininess, you know.
Yeah.
She's kind of like the oh my God, who's my man? Sorry, I'll come back to it, but I just can't take it. Yeah. All right, PK from University City wants to talk about the superpowers that he's received from Jupiter and Saturn coming together in the Christmas star. PK, what are your superpowers?
Good morning, brother.
Morning.
I had an experience down in Orlando, Florida, where we were on vacation. And Osama bin Laden's brother was running the supermarket, and he started following me.
Okay. All right. Thanks, PK. Appreciate that. Oh man. Oh, I'm sorry, PK, not to cut you off, but I'm just scared of where that story was going. That did not start well. Love you, brother, but man, Osama bin Laden's brother following you in a store, that just was going to end up somewhere where me and Royster would have been sitting in management virtually, in a virtual management meeting with WURD. Like, did you know after he started with Osama bin Laden's brother that you should have stopped that call? Woo! If you, God, where do you go from there? Oh man, I have rarely been speechless for radio, but right now, I mean, if I could just laugh the last 4 minutes of the show, I would. Osama bin Laden's brother started following me in the supermarket. Oh, God. Thank you for that levity. I told you it's like the Christmas week. But now I'm actually intrigued. I really do want to know what happened in that store. I just can't take the risk that would happen on air.
Okay, I'm trying to get that. I'm sorry, that one. Ooh.
All right, Edwin says Isley Brothers versus the Gap Band.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Isley Brothers versus Earth, Wind, and Fire, though. Because I think the Gap bands, I don't think the Gap band has, they don't have the repertoire that is deep enough to go toe-to-toe with the Isley Brothers. Earth, Wind, and Fire could go with them. Earth, Wind, and Fire could go. Haroon said you may not recover. And right on cue, here's Raphael. I saw a man who looked like Osama driving a taxi cab in Philly. Raphael.
Okay.
Come on.
How about the Delphonics versus the Stylistics?
That's good. That's good. But I'm telling you, listen, could you imagine, though, Kenny Gamble and Huff up against Berry Gordy?
That'd be good.
The Motown sound versus people. Let me just say, moving to Philly, I did not realize how much I was influenced by the sounds of Philadelphia. I just always assumed growing up, a lot of those songs I was listening to were Motown. That's what I thought. And now that I understand that so much of what I thought was a part of Motown was actually, Gamble and Huff, I have just gained such an appreciation for their music and for their depth. Clearly Berry Gordy and Motown was like the big dog on the scene, and there are a lot of reasons behind that. Again, when you saw Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, Smokey Robinson, and the kind of success that they had earlier, that it sometimes can dwarf it. But I'm telling you, when you put those two playlists together, they can go toe-to-toe for a while.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
That would actually be, it would be interesting, are there a couple of recording studios that you want to put up against each other, to put their catalogs up against each other? I would love to see some of the studios that did blues music, go up against each other. I think that would be really powerful to kind of really get a nice blues versus going on. I know they want to do the contemporary hip hop kind of stuff, but there's some audience out there for that stuff as well.
Yeah, Wayne Terry says to get Berry Gordy and Gamble and Huff in a room, what history to learn, man! About the stories they could tell. Well, look, we're about to log off, but I'm gonna in my own world here, I'm about to play "When Will There Be a Harvest for the World?" Yeah, that we need that. It's Christmas week, so be kind to each other and don't be like Juju Smith-Schuster dancing on somebody else's logo, because you might get knocked out your cleats. That's my advice for today.
No Juju dancing on their head. Okay. Anyway, hey, thanks for joining us here on the Power Hour. We'll be back tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. to bring you the latest news happenings around Philadelphia and, of course, our opinion. Please stay tuned for Wake Up with Word with Solomon Jones. Listen, go out, change the damn world, because if you don't, nobody else will. Peace.
Wait, I'ma show